fellas, I'm Brian.
And I'm Brad.
And this is the spoiler review for Glass Onion. I'll always just refer to it
a
as
Knives Out murder mystery.
Will you refer to it as Glass Onion and Knives Out murder mystery, or just Glass Onion?
Probably Glass Onion or Knives Out 2.
I kind of like the idea. I hope in like 10 years they just remove the Knives Out mystery, because I kind of like the idea of it being named like the Bond films and less like the MCU. No shade to the MCU, but the first thing I want to say is actually my favorite fucking quote, but I do have a question for you. My favorite quote from the whole thing is now my YouTube and Twitter banner, which is, "It's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth." I love that so much. Also, we just rewatched the trailer in between spoiler free and spoiler, and it's so weird to watch after knowing everything.
And they do a really good job of making sure they have the right shots in there. Especially the one where Daniel Craig, I almost called him Bond, is in front of the glass before what's name steps out to the side. So like they have like the shots like perfectly timed up, so it looks like somebody's pointing a gun at the back of him when we know he's shooting for what is her? I don't remember what her name is off the top of my head.
Helen.
The twin sister. Yeah, the twin sister.
Yeah.
Andy.
Spoilers. You shouldn't have been here if you haven't seen it. That marketing department made a whole new film in that trailer.
I would watch that film too.
Oh, so good. All right. So one, everyone should check out the cast doing a trailer reaction on Netflix's channel. It's delightful. But two, there was an interviewer who had a really great question, which was, who in the cast, or I guess who in the characters, which of the characters, if you had to be stuck in COVID in a pod, would be your roommate? Who would you choose?
Oh, it's easy. For me, it's easy. I mean, okay. So first is the easiest one, Daniel Craig.
Okay. As an actor, okay.
As an actor,
okay.
As an actor, and Benoit Blanc. I think that would be the easiest one for me, just because if I could talk to him as Benoit Blanc and as Daniel Craig, I think that'd be amazing.
To explain
too many things in my life together.
To explain I was gonna say, you're trying to push out Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Nice. So would I. All right.
And then the second one would probably be Batista. Because he just seems like he'd be a cool person to hang out with. He would be on like the same level, maybe not quite the same level as like Jason Momoa, where he just seems he'd be like really laid back and really cool to hang out with. But then as soon as something happened, he'd be ready to go, like full energy, like ready to run through walls. Yeah,
when that question was asked, like all the cast were like, "Oh, that's such a tough question," and I get it because they all know each other.
Yeah,
I mean, either to be nice or manners, or because they know and love everyone in that cast because they got to know him so well. Me, parasocially, my answer would have been immediate and without question, Dave Bautista, and for one reason only. When James Gunn during the period where James Gunn was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he was like, "I'm not fucking doing it. If they don't, I don't want to do it without James Gunn. But if they make me do it, they better use his script. If they don't use his script, because he's my boy, I'm fucking walking, you can sue me." And I was just like, oh my God. Like, look, everyone in the cast, I'm not shaming anyone in the cast for not going that hard, but like, Dave Bautista really put his whole fucking career in the crosshairs of the biggest media empire on the planet, because he knew it wasn't right, and he wouldn't stay silent. And like I've heard him talk about how focused he is on his career and the quality of it, and wanting to work with great directors and do things that he's personally invested in. He quickly waved off the idea of joining the Fast franchise, which is something I would not think is below him, because that shit is fucking fun. I don't think he thinks it's below him either, but it's just not the projects he wants to do. So he's very focused. So for him to be so focused on his career, juicing it for all the quality it can be. And me, by the way, since then, he's been in like those fucking Disney bundle advertisements. So like, thank God they don't have a bone to pick with him. But like, he really risked so much in terms of his personal goals, because he wouldn't let that bullshit stand, and he wouldn't be quiet about it. I mean, it would have been so easy for anybody to go to James one-on-one and say all of that, and I hope they all did. But to go public with it, whew, I was like, that guy is made of, he was birthed in a pool of integrity. he was forged by the gods in Mount Integrity in the volcanic ashes. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but I would love the chance to just, and he also seems to have really good head on his shoulders. I've heard him talk about deeper subjects and stuff. So to have the opportunity, even a day, to just talk with him, whatever the conversation would cause, would be fascinating. Benoit Blanc is Benoit Blanc your favorite character in this movie? Or let's say this, not including Benoit Blanc, who's your favorite?
Okay. Yeah, probably Dave Bautista. Just he seems like the fun one, but he also in the movie seems like somebody who we might not get along with on some levels. Oh
yeah, I mean, like when watching the film, which character was your favorite besides Benoit? Because we've had two, so he's got an unfair advantage.
Yeah, well, I would say Dave Bautista, but then in the movie, his character in the movie. There's some things that they talk about that, you know, the reasons why he's not popular, because he's hacking, what was it, rhino boner pills or whatever it was.
There was zero wine in those pills.
Yeah, and he was pushing like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So there's some things that I probably wouldn't get along with him on like a personal level. Duke Cody,
I would fucking hate Duke.
Birdie J would be fun to hang out with, just because like she's like the internet explorer meme.
She's so hilarious.
Yeah,
I think Birdie J is my favorite.
And she's like the internet explorer meme, where it's like something happens, everybody says something, and then like it's like 2 weeks later, oh, did you guys hear about this? I was like, yeah, that was like months ago. What are we doing? Every time she was like 10 seconds late on everything.
I fucking loved it. That, I think my favorite, there was one of her things. Oh yeah, at the dinner table when Benoit, by the way, we got to talk about Benoit Blanc solving the murder mystery. But when while he's doing it, and he mentions the diamond on the magazine, I loved the fact that she is so used to being called out on her bullshit that she's constantly in defense mode, because he just mentions the diamond as a family heirloom, and she goes, I didn't even know what a blood diamond was. And I'm like, Birdie, this is an issue. If you're so used to being attacked for your bullshit that you took a mention of an item as an accusation, it is unhealthy if you're being accused that often, that's your first interpretation. And I don't think it's an unfair guess of hers. I mean, she's fucking stupid in a lot of places, but in that instinct, I'm like, that's the correct instinct for who you are. But you were wrong in this instance.
Like you said, when she's so used to being called out on all that stuff, I mean, at some point you're just like, all right, what do I got to protect myself from this time? What happened that, I'm being blamed for? Maybe some things fairly, some things unfairly. But she's like having to backpedal like immediately.
Yeah. Maybe question why you have to keep backpedaling. Yeah. Just talk to a therapist. I do love what Rian Johnson said about her, Kate Hudson. She said, Birdie, the way I'm playing it, Birdie understands every third word.
That's funny.
I fucking loved it. Catherine Hahn, though, it is a legend. I'll always be a fan. And okay. Do you have any criticisms?
Sorry
to put you on the spot, but I don't want to go first since I'm always nitpicking.
Right. No, I'm going to say that I don't really have any real criticisms that I would say that are justified. I think they do a really good job of because they're following a murder mystery with another murder mystery. So they do a really good job of like trying to like draw you into that murder mystery and then have him solve it right away. And then you're just like, wait, what? Like that was like, how did this happen? And then it actually starts. So it sets you off on like, it reels you in, and then like you're driving down the road, stomps on the brakes, and it's like, oh, okay. And now we're going. So I like that they did that. And I like I like the twists that they throw in there. I did see the glass. That was I caught that the first time through. The glass switch.
I didn't. Nice.
I did. That was like one of my only things I caught outside of like when not Ethan Hawke. What's his name?
No, I think it was.
No, it's not.
No, it's
Edward Norton.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that like when he was talking, like it felt weird, but I didn't know why it felt weird. Him not using the words correctly, and then him making up words.
Yeah, the abbreviate. I noticed that. I didn't notice the real word, but it's the wrong word. I think I just wasn't focused too much. Maybe I picked up on a little bit, but I thought the abbreviate was just, God, you're so full of shit. Like, I thought it was intentional. I thought he had invented a word that he'd use because it would make him feel special. I'm just like, ugh. I didn't think he was stupid. At first. But what was I going to say?
But so for me, I don't have any real criticisms. I think this is a very well thought out movie, well drawn out movie. For me, if there are any complaints watching the second or third time, it'd probably be pretty minor. There's nothing drastically wrong with this movie there's no real big flaws in my opinion.
What did you say your first potential flaw was? Forgive me, but I had something I want to add on to it, and I can't remember what I was thinking about. Not,
following a murder mystery up with a murder mystery.
Yeah. Okay.
Running. Okay.
Do you know what my theory is for why he's having a murder mystery night?
Because I think everybody would be on the lookout for knowing that this is a murder mystery after the first one and how it was solved, that they would be so focused in on it that you needed that reset in the middle.
I love you, Benoit Blanc. My theory is so much dumber. I think he murdered someone, so that was on his mind. And he was like, I'm going to do a murder mystery. Because he literally says, my puzzle guy barely made the 4 and he apprentices with someone I don't know. Sorry. I think he just didn't have something planned, or he scrapped it. And he was like, let's do a murder mystery. Because, I mean, in the junkets, someone confirmed, and I don't think Edward Norton knew this the first time, because this was at TIFF the first time, at least chronologically that I think someone pointed out to him. But one of his outfits is apparently an exact same outfit from Magnolia, which was just a different film. Like he said, Miles, whatever, Braun has never had an original thought in his life. I think he literally got the idea for a murder mystery because he murdered someone, and it was in the back of his mind.
I mean, that very well could be. I didn't think about it like that.
I literally need to watch it a fourth time so I can get the timeline down of when he murdered. Miles Braun's the murderer. Seriously, get out of here if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the movie that many times. So obviously, I've only seen it once. But like, yeah, I mean, it's on his mind. He's thinking about it.
The only thing that would disprove that is I'm really kind of soft on the timeline between when he murdered and when everyone received their boxes. So I got to rewatch and kind of key in on that. But my complaints originally were, during the film, I was like, that's kind of a slow opening. That's weird. So I was feeling it taking its time getting in because the last one, like, really didn't take its time. It had one scene with Marta and then they got to it pretty much. But my other one was like, it's not so much a criticism, but for me, I wasn't connecting with Janelle Monáe's Andy literally because she doesn't emote enough. This will sound so weird. She doesn't emote enough to cause permanent wrinkles later in life. Like, you know what I mean? But then on a rewatch, when Miles Braun was talking about the brushstrokes with Mona Lisa, I was like, oh, Rian Johnson, you fucking genius. You found the one famous person on this whole goddamn planet with a face like Mona Lisa that doesn't have lines. Or, you know, like I've seen her in interviews and that's generally how expressive she is, but it's toned down for this one. Like I've seen her use her. It sounds so weird, but I had it on the mind. So I was like, let me see. She uses her eyebrows more in real life than acting, but I think that was the intention. And at first I was like, that was the one that I didn't connect with because they weren't being very expressive in their emotions or whatever. But on a second rewatch, I was like, you motherfucking genius. You were hiding the main character in plain sight the whole time. All right.
What did you think of the red herring?
Which red herring? Or what was the red herring as your... the super obvious one I think everybody should get, which was like the random dude that was just kind of walking through, like, I'm not here, and just like walk through. I never suspected him for a second. I thought he was kind of funny. I get why people are complaining that there's more Marvel-esque humor here. I get it, but I really think he kind of served the grandma role in the last one, or the great grandma. Like, that's a funny character who really doesn't have much impact. I mean, the grandma had more impact actually because she fingered random. That sounded gross. Because she implicated random at the night. Like she eventually talked. But no, I'm sorry. I didn't consider him a red herring for a second. I did go back and forth between people. I don't think I suspected Miles. Maybe I thought, at most, I thought Miles knew who killed Andy.
I suspected him more than that. But I suspected initially Dave Bautista, Duke, and Birdie J a lot less than the movie portrayed.
Then the movie what?
Then the movie portrayed him to be like, have big motivations, big, I was like, my
camera just did something weird, so let me just turn it off. and it's not turning off. So let me unplug its power source. What the fuck is going on? That was really weird. Like the viewfinder on my camera went all green and fuzzy. That's whatever.
Technology.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Duke did it as loyalty.
You're killing Andy? Yes. But
I mean, all of them. I don't think Birdie would have killed and be willing to sign the paperwork to take the fall for the sweatshop. Which, by the way, oh wait, this is the spoiler review. I was gonna say I wouldn't ruin it, but Birdie, did you think sweatshops are where they make sweatpants? Oh, heaven! I love her. I just love all the comedy that can be wrung out of her. What is reality? Oh, you told me about your sister. Oh,
like you could almost do a whole nother spin-off movie of just her character.
Oh God, I want the Birdie Diaries. So I don't think I would have suspected Birdie. I was probably curious about everybody else. But yeah, I would have expected Miles to know, I guess.
I think Duke would have the capacity to kill, but I don't think anybody else would.
I should have known though, because on a rewatch, when Blanc is talking to Helen and explaining how easy the murder would have been, everybody's shown except Miles. And I mean,
yeah,
I like that my brain can turn off. I actually think it's a benefit for me because then I can enjoy it. I don't want to figure it out. The only scenarios where I want to figure it out is something like 22 Jump Street, where I figure out right before it shows up. And by that, I mean, in that one, I started thinking, who is this cartel guy's secret child? Why do they mention that? If we're going to meet up, okay, it has to be someone we've already met, because otherwise that'd be really fucking weird to have some too. And then we see who it is. And I was like,
Another good one would be Bullet Train. Finding out that and we've done the review for that. Finding out that the girl was the one guy's daughter, the main bad guy's daughter.
Oh yeah, you figured that out like right before or much earlier.
Yeah, you figured out right before. You kind of get all the pieces right before. What's his name does? Mr. Pitt.
Benoit Blanc.
Mr. Pitt. The least believable thing about this entire movie is that little notebook stopped that bullet.
Really? Because I was going to say the instantaneous smoke detection.
Being outside, maybe, because it was outside.
Yeah.
But that makes that sets up the ending really funny after everything blows up and he's like finally gets to smoke a cigar with all the sirens going off and it's not him.
I fucking love it. And the guy smoking this doobie. Also, what is it? I think by the third time I was looking so much for Easter eggs that I might have invented one. When Helen and Blanc are in the bathroom talking about details, there's this painting, this beautiful painting that I think existed outside of here. Actually, it's Miles Bronze's place, so yeah, of course it did. He doesn't commission anything original. Even his fucking poster looks like Fight Club, or not poster. But it's this beautifully simple painting, and it's this black figure, and there's a red, like a heart, right there, and the notebook's red. And she's in full white, and I think that's a benefit for the hot sauce. But she's African American, so I kind of want to ask him, all right, I know this is a stupid fucking question, but did you put that piece of art there, or did you put the notebook over her heart or over where we think the heart is? Because isn't it not? I don't know.
It's center. It's more center chest.
Yeah. Did you put that as an Easter egg of where she gets shot? I mean, I know this might be a racist question because the only things connecting it are color, but I hope it's not a racist question. I'm not going to ask it if anybody tells me it is. Well, no, I'm going to listen to Brad because I've been talking to a lot of fucking idiots on the internet.
I mean, you can. I think you could. I think you'd be able to safely ask that question, because you're not directly asking about like the race. You're asking about like the motivation of the poster or the picture,
but
why they chose to wear certain costumes.
But I will be fully honest. I think it's as stupid a question as me, or it could be as dumb a question as me implying that Happy Death Day 2, the guy walking past the googly eye doors, inspired all of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like that was a joke. When I said that, this was I wonder if it actually is. That'd be weird. Yeah. See, God damn. Yeah. Watch it on a second time. Cause that Janelle Monáe performance, especially the glass dropping, is so much more delicious on a second time. I fucking love her. Just all her.
Just her running around like that was hilarious.
Oh, and Miles thinking he's tough shit. He's like, yeah, get it out. Mazel tov. And it's actually very ironic. I don't think it's important enough to mention or interesting enough to mention.
But it did follow that glass breaking. Her breaking all the glass follows through with something that was said in the beginning of the movie. About you, in order to invent something world changing, you have to break something that's a stereotype or whatever, and it's something that people want to break. So
and then you break something they don't want to. Holy shit, dude! You've watched it once. I watched it. I love you. I love how smart you are. God damn. There's a great review that said, I think Rian Johnson's a genius that also has a pretty cool take, but that may or may not be reality. But it's a really cool take. Yours, I think, is 100% reality. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. I thought you were just going to mention that Miles Braun said he wants to be mentioned in the same breath as the Mona Lisa.
And then it will, and then in this universe definitely will be, because he'll be the one that burned it to the ground.
And I love when Helen said, your fuel of the future just barbecued the world's most famous painting. Congratulations on that launch of Clear. You're done. I was like, oh, that's so good. Especially after he was like, oh, you think you're so sick? You just kept me? You got me? Oh, it felt so good. God, I love fucking karma. And I just... Like, I want these movies to go so far that eventually one of the mysteries is Benoit Blanc killed somebody and he shows up to cover it up. I wanted to go so far that we get a Columbo episode where, like, the first 30 minutes you actually see the murder, and yet there's still a twist. Well, maybe not the first 30 minutes, but you see the murderer and know who it is. And then, of course, Rian Johnson's going to put in another twist. I want it to go forever.
Well, they've already greenlit number 3.
Yeah.
So that one's already greenlit. I mean, but at this point, I think what's realistically going to happen first is he's going to run out of people to cameo and star in these movies that haven't been in it at least once. Because he is like jamming like so many people in these movies.
I'll tell you why that is not true. These are going to come out every 3 years, maybe 2, if they're really spicy with it.
Because there's 8 billion people in the world. Is that what we're saying?
Well, no. Because the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't running out of people. And if it's once every 2 or 3 years, they could literally just have a whole new cast of superstars in new origin movies.
Yeah, but look at like Star Wars, though. I mean, that's running out of people. They have to keep reusing the same people just to get them.
No, that's just a wealth of unoriginality, or safe bets. Let's say.
Okay.
Maybe a mixture of both. I mean, but truly, like, Prey, for instance, was a gamble. Meanwhile, and I won't even spoil why it's a gamble. Try to watch it on Hulu without looking at any of the fucking banners if you can. Meanwhile, a franchise like Terminator keeps bringing back Arnold, and it's a smart choice in dog shit movies because Arnold sells. Arnold being a part of it is kind of a stamp because he's the crown jewel of that franchise, or whatever. I think James Cameron's the real crown jewel because no one else has made a good movie. I mean, he produced the last one, and that's fine. But so, yeah, my criticism of Star Wars is like, God damn, make new characters, please. You can't
make something original. Stop trying to fill in gaps and stop trying to like.
I mean, frankly,
lose all the mystery in between movies and stuff like that. You're just trying to jam so much stuff in there. It's just like, no, just let it be. Let it be its thing. You don't have to give us backstory to everything or try and fill in what they were doing every minute. I don't care. That's part of the coolness of it. Just I don't really care how Han Solo got the Millennium Falcon. I just don't care. It's not a big deal to me.
And frankly, I mean, there's literally only one actor in this entire film, I believe, who's been in a Star Wars. Do you remember who it is?
I'll
help you out and say it was a cameo.
Ethan Hawke.
It was in The Force Awakens. It was Daniel Craig. He is the stormtrooper who
bumps his head
who on her second try, Rey successfully mind controls.
I mean, that'd be cool.
I mean, it was cool that he cameoed, but the fact is, like, this movie has so many fucking mega talents who've basically never been in a Star Wars movie. And Star Wars didn't use them or try to use them in a meaningful way. But anyway.
Yeah, because you got Ethan Hawke as the "you're good" guy, which I thought was pretty meta. I thought that was. I was nervous. I was like, "Oh, please tell me this isn't going to be like some like," because obviously it's COVID that they're battling. I mean, I think they come out and say it. I think at one point.
Oh yeah, no.
Well,
they've said pandemic, and but like
the year was 2020.
This is COVID.
Like yeah. But I was a little nervous that they were just going to be like, kind of not conspiracy theory. Like the high elites have a cure for this.
But I loved that for two reasons. One, for the plot, like I said in the non-spoiler. But two, just to fuck with the idiots online. I mean, there's gonna be. I don't know, actually. Do people who spread stupid ass misinformation like smart movies? No, this isn't even a smart movie. This is more entertaining. Like, it's not some impenetrable mystery, but like, it's clever.
No, but they can still use it and like, see, they're being open with it. They're telling us that they're doing it, man. They're showing it right to our face. So, I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's weird because I won't go into details, but someone I was talking about Twitter. I found out a fact that made it really made the price that Twitter was bought at insane. Which was that apparently 95% or 90% of all tweets on Twitter are from 100,000 people. So I was like, holy shit. $44 billion for 100,000 users. And mind you, I've owned a Tesla. It was used, but I would like to again in the future. And someone just got really defensive and like attacked me for was saying like I was mentioning it like politics, and I was like, whoa, like Elon doesn't need. To myself, I was like, Elon does not need you defending him, and I've been the person to defend Elon in the past. He has grown old on me. Every time he'd talk about COVID, or especially with Twitter now, I'm like, dude, you gotta stay in your lanes. There are lanes, multiple lanes that you can excel at. But you're feeling a lot more like Miles Braun these days. But I love that. I fucking love that so much. They put that in. I think it's kind of a ding on Benoit Blanc to still say yes without knowing what's in it. Little ding. Also, little ding for Hugh Grant answering the door without a mask.
Well, so did what was her name? The mayor, the governor.
That's for character. For Hugh Grant, I get why they did it. He's there for 3 seconds. You need to know it's Hugh Grant. Face shield. Done.
Yeah, but he was also cooking or whatever too. He had a mixing bowl and everything in his hand when he went to the door.
Well, yeah, but like if you're going to answer the door, if you want to logic that, just have him be still putting it on or whatever when he answers the door. Only because they were so intentional, and I love it. They were so intentional of informing character with these things, like I assume Democratic runner, because she said all my green base or hippy dippy base or whatever. She kind of insulted them. I think she's running as a Democrat. She was talking about climate change and wanting to do stuff because of climate change. So I think she's a Democrat. And her answering without forgetting the mask and then later having it, but not having it correctly on over the nose, I thought was such intentional and clever ways. I mean, Birdie's obvious. She did the fucking Alanis Morissette or whoever was, who was that idiot? No. Carly Rae Jepsen. Let me just make sure. I don't want to slander anyone. Carly Rae, I can't even spell her name. Jepsen mask. God, oh my God. I'm just seeing Halloween masks, and the first one was for Kanye. I don't know who it was. Let's not say it was anyone, but there was someone early in the pandemic doing a meet and greet with one of those masks. Like, that's clear. Duke shows up with no mask. Neither does Whiskey. What was his name? Leslie Odom Jr.'s. He wears a mask. Benoit Blanc wears a mask correctly and everything. I think they were so intentional with the masks in informing character that having Hugh Grant not have a mask so that you know who he is, or not having anything, whoops.
Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey. Thank you. I didn't want to. God, I would have felt bad if everyone had in their head Carly Rae Jepsen. Lana Del Rey.
And I do want to, since I've already interrupted you for this, I also want to fact check you. I also want to fact check you on something else. Noah Segan, who is the random slacker stoner dude, was also in Force Awakens.
Was he in The Last Jedi? Because now I want to know how he knows Rian.
Oh, sorry. He was in The Last Jedi. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was Stormaroni Starlock. I don't know what that means. I don't know who
That's hilarious.
We'd have to call in we'd have to phone a friend to find out who that is. But
but
he's also in that guy is also in a ton of Rian Johnson movies.
Oh,
he's the guy in Loop. He's the guy in Looper.
He's in Knives Out. He's the other detective.
He's the trooper, yeah.
How that's why he's there, because he cameo, or he's not cameos, but he's been in multiple. He was on the commentary track on Knives Out. He's one of the 3 people. It's Rian Johnson, the producer, I believe, and Noah Segan. That is fucking great.
Yeah, he's in Brick. Yeah. He's in Looper. He's in Knives Out. He's in Star Wars. He's obviously in this movie.
Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, and Madeline Klein must all feel like pieces of shit that Lucasfilm called up Noah Segan and was like,
no, well, they're clearly.
I know. That's hilarious.
Now I'm just kind of glancing back and forth between Rian Johnson movies and movies that this dude's in. Mm-hmm. I think he's in. The only one that I didn't see was The Brothers Bloom, and that doesn't mean he wasn't in there. It just means I didn't compare well enough.
No, yeah, that's fine. All right, so Lionel, Leslie Odom Jr.'s name is Lionel.
He's in that movie too. He's literally in all of Rian Johnson's movies.
What? Wait, what? Leslie Odom Jr.?
Noah Segan.
Oh, okay.
Literally in all of Rian Johnson's movies.
I was like, hold up. Not everybody in this cast has his besties with him. Yeah. I also started Googling Dave Bautista's hand tattoos, because he has his character, and he's a nerd in the movie. I don't know how much of that was Dave Bautista first and like leading the character. Actually, I don't think at all, because Rian Johnson said that he had the whole script done written before he even did the Netflix deal. So, but they at least added a Superman tattoo that I don't believe is actually on Dave Bautista's hand. But his Spectre tattoo makes an appearance. Like, that's a real tattoo he has on his knuckles, and it shows up in the film. So I don't know what Netflix had to do to get all these sign-offs, but those new tattoos are just fun in and of themselves.
He's in a lot of movies because he's Spectre, Blade Runner, Army of the Dead, Dune, Riddick. What other movies is he? He's in Guardians. I mean, he's in so many movies, but
I'm betting you've already seen, but do you know what Ethan Hawke's character's name is?
I did see, but I don't have that page open, so I don't know what it is. It was like Efficiency something, or Efficiency Dude, or
Efficient Man.
Efficient Man, yeah. I looked at it, but
a fun fact of why Natasha Lyonne is in this film is because Rian Johnson at least wrote, I think he directed, I don't know. He wrote a 10-episode show that's supposed to be coming out soon called Poker Face, starring her. So that was pretty cool. But
and then you had Kareem in that same Zoom call, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Yo-Yo Ma, and then Angela,
Stephen Sondheim, and Angela Lansbury. Yo-Yo Ma wasn't in the call. Yo-Yo Ma was at the party with Bernie.
Oh, yep. But then Angela Lansbury, who has since passed.
And Stephen Sondheim has also passed.
Yeah.
Half of the people that Benoit Blanc was talking to have since been shot out the air. What is it in Among Us? I was trying to make an Among Us reference. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Blasted into space, or air released through the airlock.
Serena Williams.
Yep,
that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because I was confused. I was like, well, that's a really realistic poster, like, and it moves and stuff like that. I was like, that's cool. And then she starts talking. I'm like, whoa, no.
Which just makes sense. I'm like, of course, some rich billionaire has Serena Williams on once a week, and it's like, maybe not today. How much did you love Ma?
Duke's mom?
Yes.
Where she comes in and like doing his laundry or whatever and slaps him. Because she says, because he tells her to shut up or whatever when he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
We're live on the air, Mom. Wow. Did you just tell me to shut up? Wow.
Yeah. Wait, can you do me a favor and just start his excuses after that?
I don't even remember what they were, but
just say when we're live, whatever.
Yeah. When we're live.
Huh?
We're live and we're doing the
And then I think she failed as a parent because Duke is her offspring. And she's not correcting him on the fucked up things he's saying. But I think she's hilarious with her, huh?
And then he's like trying to figure out the puzzles and she's like, oh, yeah, that's I forget what the Fibonacci sequence. It's like, oh, yeah, that's whatchamacallit.
Another question I have for Rian Johnson, which I think his answer would be yes, is if it wasn't Ma, but it was Pa, would Duke be reacting differently? Because I truly think he'd be, if it was his dad saying it's a Fibonacci sequence, I think I mean, it's an easy guess, but I think he'd be like, oh, thanks, Dad. Like, because he respects men, obviously. But I love how much of a genius she is through that whole process. And then when Whiskey's like, what's this? She's kind of, I think that's a great metaphor for her parenting style. She's got all the tools. She just doesn't use them when it's valuable.
Yeah.
Anyway. Dude, I cannot believe Noah Segan was the same character. I need to... God damn. Good job. Jessica Henwick. Did you ever suspect her? Because she had a solid motive-ish, I guess.
The assistant, because she's going to get ruined when Birdie J gets ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty soft. That's soft to kill.
That needs to be a movie now. Soft to kill.
Too soft to kill. One man runs through a hotel, just too soft to kill.
You make too soft to kill. I want to make soft to kill. Because soft to kill just sounds confusing to me. I don't know what that means. It's like a mystery.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative and it gets the people going.
My humps. That movie I need a sequel to Blades of Glory, and I've said it 1,000 times, only because the thing that movie was missing was right before credits, fucking Napoleon Dynamite guy throwing his hand up the air and throwing an ice cube. That movie is gorgeous. I unironically love that movie. It needs that fucking ice cube. If we could George Lucas specialized edition any movie, that one. Just an ice cube.
Yep. Instead, we're getting Indiana Jones 5.
I'm excited for that. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
Yeah. And then, because who's the bad guy in that one? Oh, Mads Mikkelsen. That's right.
Is he?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. The only person who's ever played... Or wait, no. Besides Colin Firth, the only person who's ever played Grindelwald, according to Warner Brothers or Discovery.
Well, they might admit to it now that the whole court case went through and everything's okay. Yeah. Now they might cop to it, but they were hesitant there, and then the whole court case, and then now I think they'll be less reluctant to.
Yeah, I need to ask Philip DeFranco if what his take on the court case is one last time, so I can know for sure that Johnny Depp's good. Because I've never dove into everything, but I've listened to Philip DeFranco's reporting on it and seen where the guy was like, oh yeah, this is fake fucking evidence. This has been altered. This has been... So I know one person is guilty. I don't know whether Johnny Depp is innocent or guilty.
He's not entirely innocent. I mean, there was things that he did, and his drinking and drugs and stuff like that didn't help. But he definitely, I wouldn't say was the main factor in that. He helped. He was definitely there to help, but he wasn't the main.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know one person I'm not gonna invest any energy to in the rest of my life, but I need to, if I just like, oh, well, then that means Johnny Depp's good, then that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily good, but he's not bad. I mean, like I said, he didn't help the situation. He definitely was part of the situation, but
also he's coming back for Pirates 5 now.
I saw reports of him saying yes, him saying no, because they originally had offered it to him, and then they withdrew it or something, or he canceled and some. Yeah, so there's been a back and forth on that. I don't know.
Oh, well,
where they are right now.
Okay, so the most recent updates were, I think Margot Robbie's Pirates is just canceled, and then there was a rumor after that. I think that Johnny Depp was coming back, so I was like, dude, after saying, okay.
Yeah. As of 3 days ago from the New York Post, I mean, and again, not super reliable, Johnny Depp Insider debunks report that he's returning for Pirates 5.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, but that's the New York. Gotcha. Yeah, that's New York Post, and however you want to take some of those.
Well, if it's an insider, I'm just not gonna. I'm like, well then, I'm not gonna take it as fact. But so apparently Jamie Lee Curtis is just like harassing Rian Johnson to let her back into a Knives Out movie, and I love her for that. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Would you ever be down for people to come back as completely different characters? Like
if
actors?
Yes, if it was far enough away, then yes.
So like if in Knives Out 5, Jamie Lee Curtis shaved her head and came back,
or had gotten older or something like that, and she came back as a different character or cameoed as like somebody's mom or something like that, but as a different person, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But if you were to do the next movie with the same cast but they were different people, unless that was like a thing, like this is like
yeah, it would really have to go at it.
Super Troopers and like, was it Lizard Lick
Beer
Comedy
Fest,
or whatever?
Beer Fest,
where it's the same group of guys. Then I'd be okay with it, but
they kind of missed the boat on that one.
Yeah,
which good for them. Like, I love this cast. I don't want the same cast doing these characters as the last one. Although Jamie Lee Curtis's Duke would be. I don't know how you do the Speedo. But they'll figure it out. Jamie Lee Curtis is a G. Actually, yeah. Now if Jamie Lee Curtis ever comes back, and I think I'll just say, let's just have her come back once. And I would want her shaved head, tattoos everywhere. and like a beach day muscle shirt that you're always like, oh God, you're gonna be naked. But it never does. You just get scared the whole no, that one's we don't need to do that one. But I want her shaved head, full tats.
Why?
Tats. Because it would be a different character. I don't want Jamie Lee Curtis to look the same, because then everyone would be like, well, maybe she is her and she's just lying about the name. I want her to come back because she seems like a great person, a great actress, and just amazing. But I want it to be so fucking clear that only the idiots I've been talking to on Twitter would be fooled.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we're far enough away from Knives Out 1 that if you brought back a person or two in a different role, that'd be fine.
Ethan Hawke coming back would be easy though, like as the same character.
Yeah. Or having Jeremy Renner actually show up. That'd be easy.
Would you want him to be Jeremy Renner in the film?
Sure, why not?
I was actually going to say it would be hilarious. What would be more hilarious if Jeremy Renner came into a actual mystery and was an actual suspect as Jeremy Renner, or as a totally different character, but you never acknowledge that he looks like Jeremy Renner?
No, I'd want him actually as Jeremy Renner, and then I'd want them to make like half-cocked Hawkeye references at him, and him just not get it.
like he's Birdie.
Yeah, and just completely not get it, and be like, like, wow, you're a really good shot. Did you have practice with a bow before? And just like, no, I've never shot a bow before in my life. It seems like it comes natural. And just like completely not get it.
Or he says something that's like actually valuable to the thing, and someone just says, bullseye. He's like, what's a bullseye?
Yeah.
Oh God, that would be delicious. I love your brain.
It works sometimes. It doesn't work other times.
Dude, who the fuck are you talking to? You trying to do me with the okay, let's not get too, if we go too far, we might get into some not great impressions unintentionally.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Also, one thing that was really interesting to me, actually, I don't know if this is true. It felt like this movie had a lot of different locations, and I'm actually going to exclude all the introductions because, of course, they're at different houses when they get introduced. But throughout the story, it felt like they went more places than Knives Out did. But I'm going to possibly contradict myself by trying to list all the places they go in Knives Out, besides starting with Marta at home, because we'll be fair to both. They go, she meets the woman with the spider. She has a car chase. The stupidest car. Apparently that was supposed to be a better car chase, but Baby Driver just came out, so they're like, let's go in the opposite direction and not even try, which was great. So they go to the restaurant
at Andy
Anderson Cooper's party is crazy. Yeah. Are there any other places besides the restaurant, not the morgue, but the place that they test the stuff that was burned down, and the place that she died, she didn't die.
The house.
Besides the house, I mean, like outside of the house. I mean, there's the shed with the video cameras, but that's technically still on the estate. And those are only like 3 places. Where this one I can think of: Andy's house, Benoit Blanc and Helen meet outside, like hang out, I guess, in the flashback before they go to the yacht. We see
the dock that they go before they get on the yacht.
The dock, yeah. But I mean, flashbacks of other the court scenes. We see that. Actually, I might be being unfair. Are there any other places outside the island and the dock that and the introduction where they go? I guess since it's more in the flashbacks, we go to Benoit Blanc's apartment for a long time. That's more than just the introductions. Okay, maybe I was being unfair.
The glass onion.
Yeah, I'm counting the glass onion and the yacht as I'm talking about the estate house. The bar?
The bar. Because we went to the actual bar.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I think there's at least, I mean, it's a small number, but there's at least double the extra locations. And, I mean, this is a more expensive film, although I can't find the budget online. Google says 40 million, just like the last one. I'm like, bullshit. Also, another reason I want Jamie Lee Curtis back is so that she can get a big fat fucking payday with that Netflix money.
Wikipedia also says 40.
Yeah, I don't trust that number. I don't see how they could pay $100 million for just the rights and then have this whole glass fucking onion and all these special effects and this big explosion and these stars and whatever other sets in it. still be a 40 million. If it is, that'll be super fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was there any character you would have cut out?
You could have cut out the one guy.
Lionel?
One guy's Lionel. But I think, like I said in the beginning, I think he's used as a red herring. I think he's used to kind of like distract people like, wait, we're not finding out a lot about this guy. This guy could have done it, kind of thing.
Okay, because I was actually going to mention that as a negative, not finding out a lot about him. Because, I mean, I think he's a great character to lampoon, the yes man.
And I think he's a good like murder trope of like, the butler did it. Well, that's because we've only seen the butler open the door and close the door. Like, we don't really know anything about him, but it's one of those like bad ways to do a murder mystery of like not giving you enough clues. And the butler did it because he was sneaking through the whole house and kind of thing. So I think he was used to be that trope of like, we don't find out a lot about him, but at the end of the day, it was him that murdered everybody because he's the only one we don't know.
But let me ask if this would work for you. If we added one part where he's talking about Clear and like Lionel, I don't know if Lionel would I was going to say, what if Lionel like actually sucker punched Miles and everyone's like, oh, it's like, no, guy, he does this every foot. I'm pretty crazy. He takes a minute to get to it. It's fine if he like sucker punched him once, but I don't know if that would work with his character. I just want to add more bite to him because he does that pose when the lights are out, but that's not enough for me. And he comes from the different direction than the gun came, and he's very nice, or he talks favorably about Miles in the first scene we see him in, but he doesn't feel like he has enough bite to me. And I don't know, maybe it's because he's the second to Miles, so it feels, but Peg has that same issue because she's the second to Birdie. I don't know. For some reason, I just wanted more bite from him. And I don't know how to do it. I think the sucker punch would be too much out of character for him.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe just say I could fucking kill him. I know it's simple and like basic. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done a lot more with him. You could have done a lot less. You could have completely cut him out, but yeah, I mean, he serves a small purpose, I guess. But to me, I think he's just in there because Rian Johnson's had him in every other movie, so why not this one? Like, let's find a spot for him.
Oh no, I'm talking about Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about what's his name?
The pot guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, Lionel, the second in command, the
scientist who
the guy from Hamilton. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I meant. Like, oh, yeah, we could take out. No, okay. So, in terms of people who might be suspects and not Noah Segan or the pot smoker, like, do you agree that Lionel could have been cut out, or was the lead? Because we've been talking about different people.
Yeah, we need him there. We need him in the movie to make the material. We need somebody there smart enough to make the material.
Yeah.
And somebody who's going to take the personal responsibility of it failing. So there's stakes for him too, but we can't put just a XYZ corporation made clear, because then that doesn't set up the personal. There's no stakes.
Yeah, no actual person to argue within the organization to argue against it or fall. Yeah, okay. This is what I would change. Nothing about Miles, but when he says, you're not leaving, also, like, you don't want people to know about that thing. Like, just have him whisper that. Just have Miles threaten him a little bit. Because later, Benoit Blanc says that he bullied him and, like, pushed him into it and stuff as a reason why Lionel wouldn't like him. But if we just added and you don't want that other thing getting out, and we never need to find out what it is. We can assume that it's Andy. But if there's a little more threat from Miles, then I could be like, ooh, dude, you're threatening him right in front of everybody. Like, maybe that would, I don't know. I just felt like Lionel didn't have
a strong enough outside of him feeling personally responsible for, one, coming up with Clear, and two, pushing it to what's his name before is really, really ready and testing.
Yeah, because really all he needs to do is tweet, I do not support the release of Clear at this time. Right now. Tweet it right now. Your career's saved. Before he announces anything next week. You might be fired. Sure. But you're not going to take the fall.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just say, I do not support its release. It needs more time. Done. You're good. Your career's good. And Peg, I think if she spun it, she could be like, for a new job, like, you represented Birdie. Are you kidding? Why would we want? Be like, look, I was with her for 10 years. I'd be looking for a new job 8 years ago if I wasn't so good at my job. That would be a good like spin on it.
She can definitely spin it. I mean, but again, I don't think her motivation's enough to kill. I think that's pretty soft. I think that'd be very extreme.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It feels like Lionel has the same amount at stake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a bigger thing risking him. But again, if he just tweets, I don't support the release of it, he's good. I think in my book, like, right? Am I wrong on that? Or would the internet be like, look, your lead scientist is saying no? I mean, of course, the Miles Braun Twitter groupies, all men, would attack Lionel, but his career would be good after. Unfortunately, after Clear killed a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
Ooh, but okay, different approach. When he's talking to Claire, just lay it on thicker that they cannot let people get killed. There is no length they shouldn't go to stop him if this starts happening. If he seems too intense, like he basically say, I'd rather kill him than let innocents die, without saying that would also work for me.
That would be better. They never went that far. I mean, but that'd be better.
Yeah. I just want, like I said, I just want him to have more bite so I can wonder. Because that pose in the dark was cool, and it was a little spooky, but it was nowhere near enough to make me think, ooh.
Yeah, and they tried because he's like doing like the wall pose.
Yeah. So what'd you think of early on when Miles and Benoit are together, and Miles just goes fully into black with his face? Do you remember that part?
I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, what did that make you think he was the murderer, or did that, like, you got in your head and be like, well, wait, no, it's that obvious he wouldn't be?
I wouldn't say got in my head, because I think we're still at the point where I was still reeling from like the whole twist of everything, and then like the real murder actually starting to happen. You're talking? This is You're talking about after the lights go out.
No, I was no. There's a point. All right, I actually misspoke. I the way I phrased it, I was saying that his first time when he went up, and it was like, "What are you doing here? You know what? You're invited." The dumbest thing Miles did that whole weekend, inviting Benoit Blanc to stay. But I mean, killing someone's also, besides the murder.
Yeah, but he was expecting more. Keeping Benoit Blanc, it was like, oh well, we're just going to do a murder mystery. He wasn't expecting Benoit to solve it, and then for everything to happen afterwards.
Yeah. But I misspoke. The time where they do the full darkness over Edward Norton's face is after, I believe, Benoit Blanc solves the murder mystery. and he tells him like, you just gave a bunch of people who have reason to kill you murder, and then they start talking about the napkin, and then he leans in, he's like, and then they'll hate you because you're there, because that's what you're there for, or something. Anyway, I liked the Face in Darkness. I wonder, I really need them to have commentary tracks for this movie, and Rian Johnson really wants to make one for Glass Onion on Netflix. I know they've done some commentary tracks with early seasons of House of Cards, but like Disney's doing special features on Disney Plus. Come on, Netflix. It's super simple. It's just an audio track.
Get your game up.
Yeah, literally, if they don't want to sell steelbooks and shit, give us all the special features on Netflix. That'll keep, it'll keep the niche people there more, like maybe 5%, but those are the people who would be willing to spend more money on your physical media, so why not have them there?
Yeah, for me, there's no reason not to.
I thought I was turning it to the right, to the correct volume direction.
For me, there's no reason not to do movies, not to do physical releases 4 or 5 years down the road. There's just none. The movie's been out long enough that you're not bringing people in. You're not bringing new people in because of that movie. You're better off selling the movie.
Yeah, and if they wanted to be like nervous about it, they could totally just make their own warehouses. They have the DVD shipping. Do they put their Netflix originals on the Blu-ray shipping service?
Probably not.
They should do that first before doing steelbooks. But like, hey, put the special features on the Blu-rays, send them out. Now, it's kind of evil of me to say, but now motherfuckers like us have to pay an extra $8 a month to get those special features. It would be evil, but like the double dip is them doing the steelbook. So
yeah, I think at some point it will be. I think this franchise gets big enough that it will be, and that they'll be basically forced to at some point.
Oh, but, like in the contract.
Not necessarily in the contract, but like, they'll feel the need to release them. Not necessarily in a contract or anything like that, but just be like, yeah, we should probably put these out on physical media by now. So I think it'll come to that point eventually.
Okay. I'm more leaning towards, I would bet that Rian Johnson would get that baked into their contract before Netflix would willingly. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if after 3 does fucking amazing and Netflix is like, okay, 200 million. They're like, nah, 100 million, but you gotta do steelbooks for everything, and we get a little cut. But Rian Johnson said that he took the $100 million so that he wouldn't get in exchange for not getting royalties later on, which makes sense because how the fuck do you get royalties from Netflix? But Netflix, based on him saying that sentence, I believe Netflix has the option if they want to release it physically. Because technically they own the copy, but I don't see unless something huge happens behind the scenes in terms of leadership, I don't see that actually changing soon.
Yeah.
If the ad-supported tier doesn't work, then yes. But the ad-supported tier worked really great for HBO Max, apparently. So,
Discovery Plus.
Hey, I got the ad-supported tier, and there's not a lot that actually has ads on HBO Max that I watch. So, I almost don't have the ad-supported tier.
That's fair.
And I honestly, I so rarely actually watch enough on each streaming service to justify it that the ad-supported tiers are just a great way to save money and not have to cancel as much.
Yeah, and try and condense as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because, like I said before, every service has a streaming service.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you think about the twin twist?
I liked it. It was, I would say it's kind of lazy in a sense, but I like the twin twist.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to somehow, I mean, the way that it was written, you have to have that. There's no way, I don't think there's a way around it the way it was written. But I think it's lazy, but it worked out really well.
And there's I didn't catch this on the first time. You probably did because you notice everything. But, I don't notice everything. But when I know I'm just messing. But when the lights are out and Benoit finally finds Helen, ooh, you know what? Respect to IMDb, because her credit is Andy Brand. It does not say Andy/Helen. Mwah! Thank you. I mean, it's not their job to keep spoilers out. They're actually failing at their job, not listing everything correctly for Janelle Monáe. But I actually appreciate that. When he finds her for the first time in the dark, he yells, even before the flashback, Helen. And I didn't catch that at all. But I
didn't catch that.
I fucking love it. Rian Johnson's so fucking clever. Like, I would have been scared to put that in. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? 10 minutes before we're going to reveal it, I'm going to say Helen? Or have him say Helen? No.
Yeah, but do any of these characters, has any of those characters actually met her though?
No, I mean for the audience's sake. Like,
oh, I see.
Him saying Helen, sure. I mean, maybe someone's around that could have been within your earshot, but for the audience's experience, I would not have risked telling the audience Helen before the reveal because I would have been too scared to. But Rian Johnson is either, well, probably genius enough or experienced enough or both, that he was like, nah, we can throw this in. It'll be good. Just like he could throw in the, because if I had shot the putting the glasses down, I would not have shown Edward Norton's hands that first time because I would have been too scared. And yeah, it spoiled it for you, but for me, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't spoil it as much as like I knew something was wrong, and because I had seen the past, and then when they were doing the flashbacks, the edited flashbacks of him putting it on the table and then him grabbing the wrong one, like I knew it was wrong, but I mean, for me, that doesn't trip the rest of the movie. That was just one clue of many.
Yeah. It's funny on a rewatch that scene because as soon as he shows him the phone, like it almost feels like Miles Brown is saying, "Hey, I'm the killer. I'm the killer. I'm the killer. Hey, everybody, listen. Like, watch me. I'm telling you, I'm the killer." Only because he's like, he immediately changes gear, or he wanted dancing, but he like ups it. Is like Benoit said. I think this actually supports my guess of why he did the murder mystery, because as soon as Duke shows him the report about Andy, he thinks murder and then says, Benoit said, "What have you wanted to murder me?" I mean, that if I could, and it would be a benefit, I would cut that line. Because I mean, when Duke drops dead, then he's like, "I'll pay you $1 billion to tell me which of them killed me." That would have worked kind of more for me, but
I mean, yeah, he turns it really well.
Oh yeah, on a first watch, I had no idea.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think it's turned super well. But
I do love
it gets lost fast.
What gets lost fast?
For me, Miles being innocent and everything.
Oh, okay. I do love his offer of $1 billion.
I mean, come on, if you're to buy Twitter for 44, you might as well offer somebody $1 billion to figure out who.
Third question I need to ask Rian Johnson is if Banksy actually designed that doc, because I wouldn't be fucking surprised. the glass.
Yeah. I know he's done a lot of cool things. I know Banksy's done a lot of cool things, but I mean, I don't know if he did the doc. I mean, I think it was just a name drop.
It totally could be. I mean, they name drop Banksy in Spider-Verse. They name drop and have an actor play Banksy in Ted Lasso. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a name drop. And I mean, it being Netflix, I wouldn't be shocked if Banksy was like, I'm not fucking risking this whole fucking crew because I designed this. However, with all the cameos and everything, and the Renner hot sauce and the Jared Leto kombucha, I want it to be true.
It wasn't Jeremy. It was Jeremy Renner hot sauce. It was whose kombucha was that?
No, it was Jared Leto's.
Jared Leto's, yeah, and Jeremy Rayner's hot sauce.
Did I mix that up?
Maybe I mixed it up in my head. I might have mixed it up.
Okay. But I just want it to actually be a Banksy. I want in my heart for it to actually have been a Banksy, but I love Lionel saying his stupid Banksy doc is shit. It doesn't float.
If Banksy showed up, would you know who that was without them telling you?
I mean, no one knows who Banksy is technically in the Twitter sphere or whatnot. I mean, even Daft Punk, I guess, had their faces leaked, but I never Googled it. And as far as I know, Banksy's identity is still a secret.
Yeah, it's a pseudonym.
Yeah. So, like, that's why the Ted Lasso one was so funny, because it's so clearly not Banksy. Just like, oh, sorry. Hey, you all right? Just some sad, frumpy guy who's like, yeah, that's fine. But, like, in a world where just you get fucking every goddamn cameo that you could imagine and want. Like, I didn't hear about one cameo that was in that script that didn't happen or whatever, like the Jeremy Renner hot sauce. I want it. That's it. Also, I was pixel peeping when Miles takes the gun off Duke. It's actually really early, shockingly. Like when he shows him the phone, and I think he hugs him or something. He's like, "Yeah, oh, that's great." I think he hugs him. He takes the gun then, and then he goes makes the drink. Yeah, and you even see it in the flashbacks when Benoit Blanc is saying you had a gun at your fingerprints. At your fingertips.
Yeah, because he
throws it in the
ice bucket.
Yeah. Dude, that guy is quick. He may be dumb and not have an original idea in his head, but he is so fucking clever in terms of reaction timing, and like spinning shit his way and like controlling a room. Like I think he has talents. He would fail an IQ test. And he'll never invent something on his own that actually changes the world. And yeah, the same is true for Elon Musk, but when you point him in the right direction, I think he can do good. Just get him back to Tesla. That wasn't even his company, I know, and he still does make stupid claims like, we're going to have it out there. My favorite quote about Elon Musk is he overpromises, overdelivers, and is always late. Like he's stupid in his own way, but his fervor for it gets shit done. Get him out of Twitter. Just stop with Twitter, dude. The loss, just fuck off. Stop making it some battle of free speech shit. It's not. I mean, maybe I don't know. Actually, I recant that. I want to talk about it. He just doesn't know how to run Twitter because he fires all the people that make it work, and then it's like, yeah. So Miles Braun has talents. Like he took that gun quick. He didn't even have to think about it. He almost beelined for the kill you juice. Honestly, he could have waited 10 minutes, like, and let it be a little more relaxed, figure it out, maybe dump some pineapple juice into his actual glass when Duke isn't seeing it. Just make sure Duke doesn't talk to anybody. Really.
Yeah.
But he slipped that gun off him real quick, so
and you don't want to take too much time before he knows it's missing.
Yeah.
But you can also keep him happy because he gave him what he wanted, essentially, of being more time on his news channel.
Yeah, but Duke would fucking run to Whiskey. Be like, yo, I just blackmailed him because he killed somebody.
Yeah, because he's already using Whiskey to blackmail him. Or not blackmail, but like...
Yeah, that was a very interesting and so weird it felt real. Like one of those things where like, oh, I don't want that to be true. I know that fucking happens in real life. Some guy is... he would do that. And she would do that. And it's just fucking depressing. Let's see. I thought it was clever. You actually see early on also that what is it? Oh, right before the lights went out, there's this moment where Miles Braun like turns around really quick and like grabs Benoit Blanc in a weird way, and you see the fucking phone, like the outline of it sticking out of it, like sticking through his pants. It's just right there.
Because I'd completely forgotten about that.
Because it dings once, and then I don't know. Does he have a clicker, or did he actually? I think he must have a clicker because I don't believe that he thought. Well, no, he. Never mind. I was gonna say I don't believe he actually thought out turning off the light, but he did. Maybe he premeditated that to try to kill Helen. Anyway, so
yeah.
But there is I could see a scenario, since it dinged in his back pocket one time, that he has a remote trigger or something, and he turned off the lights, so that he could ditch the phone. Or no, he didn't ditch the phone. Silence the phone. What a fucking idiot! Even I absolutely love Lionel. God damn it! And he still got this idea from Lionel. You didn't burn it?
Yeah.
And then he burns it. What a douchebag. I just... God damn. And I thought it was really clever how they made it so that Whiskey thought that Helen killed Duke. She's ransacking the bedroom. Duke's been killed, but Helen told her to dump him.
Yeah.
And she says, I left him.
Yeah, while trying to raid through all the rooms to look for the envelope.
Yeah. And another thing I have that is a soft spot in my heart is when a female character justifiably talks to another female character and says something similar to what Helen says, which was, I didn't kill him, you crazy bitch. I love when like it's two women. One is like one calls the other one a bitch, and that woman kind of deserved it in that second. I mean, just understandable for Whiskey. She wasn't being a bitch, but and she really did think that Helen might kill her, or Andy in her mind. Considering she's in her room, she thinks she just killed her boyfriend. But I just love that she's like, you crazy bitch. Like, it's not like, you crazy, I shouldn't call you that because that would be really disrespectful. And that is a word that has been putting us down for millennia. It's just like, no, you're about to get shot by a fucking spear gun. Go, girl.
Yeah. Well, a spear gun, like with a fork at the end of it.
Yeah, and apparently because Madeline runs back, it's all out of order, but she runs into the room blaming Andy with the spear gun loaded, but she shot it and it ricocheted off or it hit a statue. So either they had an extra spear in the hotel room or she went and fished it out and reloaded it wherever it fell. I mean, I wouldn't run back to the group without reloading that spear gun if I thought my potential killer just left. So I don't blame her, but I just find that funny. Just the idea of her being in shock and then scared, and then she's like, "Where's that spear? Ah, shit! Ah, fuck this grass! Fuck! Run back!" And apparently, I mean, to the shocker of nobody, but Edward Norton, I think, said that Janelle Monáe apparently just has a shit ton of awesome outfits just on the regular. Like, they joked that one of her really nice outfits was her casual suit, and she brought it with her to Greece. Okay, I don't know how long this episode is because we've been going for over 2 hours between the spoiler-free and the trailer watching us, which I'm cutting out, and us doing this. But I'm not running out of stuff, but I don't want to keep you because it's late. What else do you want to talk about?
I think I'm okay. I mean, I think it's a really good murder mystery. I think it's something that I want to see a second time. I don't think I'll get a chance to before it leaves theaters, unfortunately. But I hope this is something that they continue to do. Netflix as a whole, and preferably this series, is the limited release in theaters.
Yeah. Honestly, like, Netflix could. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much they want to.
I mean, I'm sure it's a big hassle for them.
Yeah, but I mean, they could just set up like a weekly new Netflix movie, really get people, but start doing it day and date, I guess.
What do you mean day and date?
No, never mind. Day and date means in the theater and on the streaming service on the same day, which is what HBO Max did. Yeah, maybe don't do that, but
I like these sneak previews because it gets people hyped. It gets people talking about the movie, especially if you know the movie's going to be good. Like this movie, I bet you as soon as it was done, they knew that it was good, that they weren't worried about it.
I don't know how I feel about it because one, I mean, there's two scenarios. You could either do it like this and have a whole month in between, and really, who knows why that is. Either they wanted to have it, either they only could find this week that was actually suitable for theaters to let them do a last minute edition or something. And they wanted to stick to their original release date, or they wanted enough of a gap that people would be actually incentivized to go to the theater instead of saying, well, yeah, it's in a week, but literally like the day after it gets out of theaters, it's on Netflix. So why would I go to the theater?
Yeah, there's got to be a big enough gap. I think a month is probably a little too long because I think
because this is spoilers.
I think the word will drop off a little bit. 2-3 weeks, maybe. I don't know where the sweet spot is going to be, but I think a month is too far because people that saw it in theaters really liked it, are talking about it, and then after a week or two, then it kind of falls off, and then it's just gonna release on Netflix to, a small buzz. But
yeah, I would say if they could start having your big budget new releases, just do this exact thing. Every single theater that it's at that's cool with it, just make it so that every week there's a new Netflix one, and as soon as it's out of the theater, the next day it's on Netflix. I think this was the right thing, or at least a 2-week gap for this movie. But like in the future, if they do it with all of them and just make it like 52 movies a year they put in a theater, do it like that, or have it delay a week. But I like the idea of it stops on a Tuesday and it, let's say, drops on a Friday on Netflix. It's not a huge gap, but
for me, yeah, do Tuesday to Tuesday, and it releases not the first Friday, but the second Friday, so it goes a week and a half.
Oh, yeah. Something like that, just because, like, it'll sound dark, but the theaters are dying. You as Netflix, you can, because it will do this. You can play it as helping the theaters, because you are helping them in a way. They're dying anyway, but you're helping them. You're reminding people of Netflix. They get to go rewatch it in a week or two after they see it in theaters if they want to. It's nice promotional push. If nothing else, it's just a nice little extra promotional push. It's not too much of a gap that you have to do a new campaign like the week before it releases, and
you're still getting a buzz from all the people that saw it in theaters,
and you're getting extra cheddar. Like, they all got A-list. Most people have A-list, I hope. If they're going to watch all 52 Netflix movies in a year, they have A-list. They're not spending money, but you are getting that extra bump of like $15 tickets. So, why not? And then do what I said and make your own members only clubs. But I mean, could you imagine that? Like, imagine a members only club where they drop an episode of Stranger Things every day at the members club and make a whole like week or 2 weeks of it. And it's just this like themed restaurant kind of for like 2 weeks in Stranger Things, and people can just come together and drink like buy Stranger Things themed cocktails, get like food that's like that, and just make it like mini Disney adventures, but for films. And like, literally, what I think I was coming up with this idea around the time 6 Underground was coming out, because the idea of having like a moving car and you have VR and you can shoot things, that would be dope. And it would be a small amount of the real estate. You wouldn't have to do a whole actual coaster. Although, could you imagine a coaster going through a members only club? It's not some fast or dangerous coaster, but like, you're on VR. It's just like going at like maybe 5 miles an hour, but they shake it so you feel it more. And everyone can look and they're like, oh, that looks so cool. We need to get in line for that. Like on 2 levels, maybe. I'm thinking of like the members only clubs that I've been a guest at in Chicago. They're like 4 or 5 levels, but that'd be cool. Hell, if they had a rooftop pool like the members only club, I mean, let's not go that extreme with it, but you could literally have the birdie walk. If people could just go up and do their birdie walks, why not?
Yeah.
I like getting into Netflix needs to get into physical goods, and by that I'm actually not talking about DVDs, but like merch. Just you're not making enough money to fix your issues, or you're not merchandising nearly enough by having Stranger Things shit in Spencer's once every 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Make a members only club, have a kids floor that you've got kids content, those little toddlers will ring their papa's wallet like a ret wag. Did I say ret wag?
Ret rag.
That sounded right in my head, and then the sound waves got to my ears, and I was like, what the fuck did I just do?
Ret rag.
I was so proud of that. I still fucked up.
Yeah. No, I mean,
unironically, if like movies are dope or anything actually gets successful enough, I want my office to be a mini glass onion as a joke against myself.
To remind yourself never to become that dumb.
Well, no, like, I'm kind of dumb. Like, we all got to work together. Don't look at me as the genius or some shit. Or no one would. Wow, that sounded egotistical. No one would ever think that. But if movies are dope, which I own, or Mad Media, I guess, actually got successful, I would want a Glass Onion as my office, just so everyone would be like, okay, he's tongue in cheek. He knows he's not the smartest guy in the world. It'd probably end up just being like a cheap fucking plastic bubble.
Bubble boy.
Yeah. God.
Yep.
You're a liar. You're a dirty liar.
No.
I went like this, and somehow my computer said, "It looks like your mic's been unplugged," and but it didn't unplug because I got back real quick. And what the fuck was I saying? Oh, I can't believe that I've seen it 3 times. I didn't know that was Noah Segan.
Yeah, I mean he looks pretty different.
Well, now that it seems like we're coming to the end, and I forgot that you were going to talk about it. Do you want to mention Joseph Gordon-Levitt's cameo? Because truly, everyone would have seen the movie and not known about it.
As like the Alexa clock dog thing.
Close. I was really hoping I'd hear you say it because I think it's a funny word. But they had him say dong, and they turned it into the dong, the yearly dong,
the hourly dong.
Yeah, god damn it. Although yearly now reminds me of Bones and All. I don't know how the fuck to explain what I experienced. No one of the 7 people in my theater could. No, there were 9 people. None of the 9 people in my theater, when I said, "Can anyone else explain what they just saw?" could. We all left. A few people I talked to on the way out, we were all like, "I don't know how to feel about that, and I don't know why I'm feeling the way I am feeling about that, but I know it was good." What the fuck? Everyone should see Bones and All. But yeah, that was it. That's what you were talking about, right? His dong.
Yeah.
I just love it.
And I like how they had the carry up the bags. They had one of the robot dogs.
Robot dogs. Ooh,
that looked like the ones from the New York City police had or whatever.
Yeah, the dog that Michael Reeves got so it could piss beer.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Everyone should look that up, including you, Brad. I can tell when you're just saying yeah and lying to me.
Yep.
All right, the 4 pieces of tech that I remembered. There's, well, I guess the COVID spray, that's a 5th. But on the island, the wristbands with haptics.
And the chakra.
Yeah, doesn't seem too crazy. No. The fucking dog. I guess the stoner guy put it on, actually. That was my only question originally. It was like, if no help is there, how did the things get on there? Stoner guy. That's how he's going through some stuff. Just do me a favor, and when my guests come, just put the things on the fucking dog. And then the smokeless garden and the don't pollute our waters. Those things are insane. They don't exist. Neither does the COVID spray. Swear to God, if that does exist, I'm gonna be pissed. but like, it's a fucking billionaire. Let him have a couple of things. It's not a fucking spaceship.
The Mona Lisa painting protector thing.
That's the override switch. The override switch was stupid. The one thing I do need, and I missed it on my 3rd time, that I need to watch on a 4th time is they must have put something on that fucking gnome's head, because there's one scene where before Duke gets killed where he keeps stinging and keeps going whoomp, and then whoosh, but no one's near it. So I really gotta get on Netflix and pause and be like, okay, they did have some shit hanging on it. Yeah, otherwise, I'm like, Jacques.
Yeah, and part of why this movie's so good in theaters versus on TV is because you can't pause and can't rewind and can't pixel peep, and or it's a lot harder to. I mean, so it's a movie like this definitely fits movie theaters a lot better.
Do you want 2 continuity errors?
Sure.
One that definitely is a continuity error is when Birdie's talking about how she used to have Miles in her hand. At the end of it, she holds her hat, and that might be because of the wind or just because that's how she was performing. But then when we get the different perspective, when we see Helen sit down, she does not hold her hat in that time. And then when Claire has gone after Andy, and then Lionel comes back and is like, something's off. And then we see it again. Well, it's just those two. But then when we see it again, Claire comes down, then Duke comes down, then Duke starts leaving, passing Lionel. And I'm pretty sure that in that earlier shot I described with just the two of them, you should have been able to see Duke at that moment. But for some reason, you don't. And later when we see Helen's side of things, you clearly see, like, Duke is like almost rubbing shoulders when he's passing him. I don't think it was clever framing. So that's my fourth question is like, all right, this is too intentional and framed in such a way. Like you could have, if you were shooting again and Dave Bautista wasn't there for some reason, you could have done a slightly different angle and hidden it. Why is this different? Because in the first Knives Out, when he's blowing out the birthday candles and every person telling the story is next to him, we know why. Those aren't continuity errors. Those are just their egos being unbridled and douchey. But that one, I was like, I don't understand what I mean, he says pancake in the Andy scene, fine, but just actually that might be it. Just the fact that he says pancake again. But like, you don't need to erase that he was there. Just that was in one of the lines that wasn't even being said when Lionel was walking up anyway. Or I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I'd probably want to watch it.
I mean, again. I'm telling you about like the smallest of the smallest thing. Like, yeah, that it doesn't have a. Yeah, I didn't notice that on my first watch. I probably didn't even notice on my second watch. I only noticed on my third watch. So. Yeah. I don't think it ruins the movie. I just thought it was curious.
Obviously not. I mean, if I didn't notice it, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Although I do have to say, I've seen at least a few video essays or YouTube videos that are talking about things that are wrong with movies. And there are too many times where continuity errors are turned into what are you doing with these characters? Not a lot, but like,
yeah, when stuff like that happens, it's not that big of a deal to me. I mean, it just,
in a what was the movie with the black and white Christmas? It's a Wonderful Life. You know, when he goes to talk on the phone, the wreath changes in Tokyo Drift when he's eating the dumplings with Lil Bow Wow. The continuity on the dumplings is off. It's who cares? Yeah. But that second one that I was talking about seemed too easy to avoid. So it felt like it might be intentional. I don't
know. It happens. It definitely happens.
Okay. Right before we say goodbye, only because we kind of mentioned, but we didn't actually talk about it. How much did you love when Benoit Blanc solved the mystery immediately?
Oh, it was fantastic. That was probably one of the strongest points of the movie for me. It's because, like I said before, like we go into this movie knowing what it's going to be about. We know the first movie. We know what to expect in this movie. So for us to be set up this whole big murder mystery thing, and then have it like solved immediately, like within seconds, and then it just puts you, it sends you reeling. Like you just don't know what to expect anymore. Like, you just solved the entire murder mystery in 3 seconds. Like now what are we going to do with the rest of this movie? And we're like, so now we're kind of backpedaling. Like, do we really know everything we know? So they needed that to kind of shock people into not being so hypocritical. Like, all right, I'm watching every minute detail, every little thing, waiting for me to catch this because I want to be the first one to catch it. Now everything we've been shown up to this point has been wiped from your memory because you're like, oh, it's part of the game. But a lot of those clues in the beginning were used in the end.
Yeah, I loved how he threw the iPad at him.
Yeah,
which I think is an iPad Pro based on the camera.
Yeah, sorry, probably is. I mean, it probably is. I was just going to laugh because, like he said, like, so what you said is a game, we get to win. Like my win in my head, my win is a prize. I mean, I just threw out an iPad. I don't actually need an iPad.
I don't need an iPad. But I mentioned the Pro because, well, one, I actually liked. I would like if more people were like this when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I made you angry." He's like, "I'm not angry, but like." What the hell?
Yeah.
But later, I only mentioned the Pro because later he's so stupid. He's like, now Benoit deserves an iPad Pro. I'm glad that I almost forgot about this, but I really loved they burned the napkin. Only because it's so fucking easy. Like, so many times, and I get how it worked because he's a drama queen or drama king. But Ransom admitting to the murder in the last movie could have been avoided. But he's such a drama king, he wants to go out on a high, or go out with panache. So he's going to admit to it, and then he's going to kill the person, and then he's going to go to jail. In this one, he's not a drama king. So, yeah. And fucking Lionel gave him the idea. He's going to burn it. Like,
Why? But why? Like, as you're standing face to face, like, why even let him get that close with a lighter? Like, why even give him the opportunity to try and steal the napkin, rip the napkin, whatever? Like, why even give him that chance?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at it. One, we see that a lot in movies, so it didn't actually stick out to me this time. But also, I think a lot of our behavior is actually based on what we see in movies. Like, when I was younger and I'd get sad, I'd have seen people drink when they were sad. So I would think, well, I should go get a 6-pack because I'm sad. Not helpful. It's depressing. But like, I just finished editing all those Bond episodes where we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, mostly me. 99.9999% of me is like, what the fuck are you doing? Shoot him! And this one, I don't know that there are any moments that aren't that don't make sense in the context of the story and the characters. Like, why the fuck didn't you burn it earlier? You're an idiot.
But like, why keep it? I don't understand why you kept it. You should have burned it.
Yeah,
as soon as he's given the envelope. Yeah. But then if he did, then we wouldn't really have a movie. Well, we still have the movie. It just wouldn't come to the conclusion that the viewer would want to see.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm going to add one more thing. Sure. I hope a future movie. Well, this is actually. I hope a future movie actually goes unsolved, like, or they don't come to justice. I just want whatever the third one's going to be. It's going to subvert. It's going to be different from the last two. So, I'm excited.
I think one of them eventually will need to be either unsolved or no justice,
or the wrong person gets fingered.
Yeah,
and we find out.
We find out, but they don't. Yeah,
so excited. I want to go so far that we get a movie called Knives In.
Completely meta.
But this movie may be a mushroom. Wait, do you go first or do I go first?
Doesn't matter. This movie may be a mushroom.
But either way, this movie is dope. Because movies are dope. Okay, I am beelining to the end recording like Miles beeline to the pineapple juice because I feel bad. Love y'all. Bye bye. Bye bye. I can't do that because I'm hitting end recording with one hand.